Hey guys, it's Miss Jackson. This video is going to cover our daily warm-ups 11 through 17. So in your pass-offs, chamber orchestra is asked to play warm-ups 11 through 17, which is the second page of the warm-ups. All of you should have these warm-ups on the back of the page that you have your warm-ups 1 through 4 on. So if you get finished through all your pass-offs and you're thinking, well, what do I do next? This would be a great place to start. All of these warm-ups are focused on specific special bow techniques. And we're going to start with number 11, which covers spiccato. Spiccato is where we bounce our bow. And a lot of the trouble that most students have is that they are actually physically bouncing every stroke. Whereas it should be more like when if you ever have played with the basketball, and you throw the ball down and then you're just dribbling. Basically what you're doing is you're controlling the rebound. So your bow is designed to bounce on its own, and spiccato is really just learning how to control that bounce. So I'm going to show you some different exercises that I've done that have helped me and my students achieve that off the string bow stroke. So what I like to do is first you have to have a good bow hold. If your bow hold is not good, there's no way you're going to get a good spiccato. Okay, and what I do is I start at the frog and I make it bounce, because at the frog it's not going to have a lot of rebound because you're going to hit and it's just going to land there because you have all the weight of your hand here. And the opposite is true at the tip. There's a lot of bounce at the tip. And that's just because of the way the bow is designed. So what I like to do is you start bouncing, you make it go up and down, and then you start moving out. And you should find a spot where it bounces most easily. Now, I always tell my students, keep going past that point. And notice how it gets harder and harder to control. And the bouncing gets taller and taller. And you can do this on any instrument. But you'll find a spot, typically close to the balance point, where it bounces nice and easy. Then the next step, shouldn't have turned the other way, is to move your bow arm horizontally while you're bouncing. And then you just try to make the bounce less and less. Now for violin, I always want to remind my students to tilt their bow towards the scroll. Take some of the harshness out of the bounce, because you don't want a lot of surface noise. Spiccato is used a lot in like classical music and stuff like that, which to me is never supposed to sound harsh. It's always pretty and refined. So if you use too much, if you hear too much surface noise, it's not going to work when you actually want to use spiccato. So warm-up number 11 through 17, they all use the same notes: D, E, F sharp, G, and A. And they come back down. And you play 8 eighth notes on each note in number 11, and it sounds like this. This is warm-up number 11. So I'm setting my bow. Anytime we do spiccato, you always start from the string and you bounce out. 1, 2, 2, set, go, Very nice. Number 12 is a slurred staccato, so you're going to stop the bow, and it has 8 quarter note bows on each going down and up, and the key is trying to evenly distribute the bow, and don't waste all your bow in the first few staccatos. Pretty simple. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go, and 13 is a retake, and a lot of people, students especially, think that if I have a little comma and they immediately think lift, and they think they're going to go down, lift, down. In this case, you're going to go down, lift, up. And the reason why is because they want you to be in the right part of the bow. So if I were to play this with no lift, it'd be half note. And it works okay, but it's not as strong as when I play this bowing. It's all about placing your bow in order to have the sound that you want. So a lot of times in pieces of music, after a long bow, if they're going to have short, strong notes, they're going to want you to get back towards the frog because it sounds better. Okay? And you're going to retake. So the counting is going to be down to lift set, dot, dot, down to set, dot, 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 down to set, up, down, up. And here we go. Warm-up number 13. 1, 2, ready, go. Set. 2, set. 2, set. Very nice. When you look at number 12, it just looks like staccato quarter notes. But what a lot of students miss is the words grand martelé. So when you play grand martelé, the idea is to use your whole bow and a very fast, strong bow stroke. Okay, it is space. There's space between each note, but it's not a short stroke. It's a long, fast stroke. Here is 14. 1, 2, ready, go. The next warm-up is warm-up number 15. This is using our more hooked bow strokes, but this is traditionally one of the most common places to see hooked bows when you have a dotted 8/16 rhythm. Okay, and most of the time you're going to do down, down, up, down, up, which is what this warm-up is addressing. So in slow motion, it's okay, but when you do a faster, it sounds like this. 1, ta, 2, ta, 3, ta, go, ta. This is the only one on this page that has that half note at the end, so just watch out and make sure you don't miss that. Finally, two more. 16 is the louré stroke, and a lot of kids will get number 16 and number 12 confused. Number 12 had the staccato, so it comes to a complete stop. Number 16, louré, has dashes beneath the quarter notes, and so we need to be really careful not to come to a complete stop or it's not going to sound right. I use this analogy with my students. The staccato is like you have a water hose and you have water coming out of the hose. Okay, and you kink the hose. So the water comes to a complete stop because you've stopped the water in the hose, and then you let it go. So it's like da, 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 and you're stopping the water every time. For number 16, the louré stroke, it's like you run your hand through the water as it's coming out of the water hose. So it's like you're interrupting the stream of sound, but you're not stopping the sound. And so in bow terms, it's more like you're gonna put a little impulse with your index finger, a little pulse on each bow stroke, so that it's still, there's separation and you can hear the different notes, but there's not a stop to the sound. So this would be one example. So it's definitely a more tricky bow stroke to master, trying to get 4 equal sounds without stopping the bow completely. Okay, so this is louré 16. 1, 2, ready, play. Finally, we have 17, which is tremolo, which is often one of my students' favorite ones to learn. And most of the time, it comes up in their music before we get to this warm-up in our warm-ups. But it's still good to practice. I tell my students to start at the middle, and you're going to pull out to the tip. And you're just going to shake. Now, the key is to stay really relaxed. I'm not tensing, and I'm not using my whole arm. It's really fingers and wrist. Okay? I'm trying to get a good angle for you to see it. And then we just play half notes. So let's play number 17. 1, 2, ready, 17. Notice when I played that, my bow just kept going and I just changed notes every 2 beats because they were half notes. So don't feel like you have to re-articulate the beginning of each of those notes once you've started tremolo. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.